Hey guys, hope you're having a great weekend. Alright, our mission today is to be able to determine what information is necessary to define a specific line in a coordinate plane. Alright, so there are a few things we might know about lines, like they have a slope, they go through certain points, they might have a y-intercept, right? Or they should have a y-intercept at some point. We're trying to figure out what is the fewest number of things that we could know about a line to know exactly what the equation of that line is. And what are the fewest things we could know to create an equation, right? So just to start out, let's think about this. Let's say we had any point on the line, right? Let's say we knew the point went through that, which looks like it's 3, 4, right? Well, without any other information, I can't really say much about this line because it could go like that. Bad example, sorry, I'll draw it through so it goes through the point. It could go through the point like that. It could go through the point like that. It could go sideways through the point. So right now we don't actually know anything else about that line, right? We can't get the equation yet. But if I were to say that it also went through this point up here, well, in order for a line to go through those 2 points, it does indeed have a very specific equation. That's one specific line. It can't be any other line, right? So the first thing that could determine a line is 2 points. Another thing that might determine a line is a point and a slope. So let's say in the problem I was given that the slope m equals 1. Well, in that case, if I had just one line, I could count up 1 over 1 and get another point, and then just draw a line through it, right? So again, you could have 2 points to define a line, or a point and a slope. So I'm going to sort of show you how we can create an equation given these pieces of information. And the first thing I want to say is if you already know how to do this in a different way, say with a slope formula and slope-intercept form, don't let this change your strategy. If you have something that works, please go for it. I tend to teach this because I think it, for people that don't have a strategy yet, it's just a more general way of sort of plugging things in. But if you already have a good strategy for solving these problems, keep on doing what you're doing. Alright? But if you don't know, this is definitely an equation to write down and memorize and sort of think about how you can plug different things in here. Alright? So, point-slope form is written like this. Y minus y sub 1. That just doesn't mean anything in terms of the value. It just means it's different than just y. Y sub 1 is just a different type of y. I'll explain that in a second. Y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. So again, definitely pause and write that down if this is new for you. Alright? So x and y are just sort of, as we usually see with points, in like slope-intercept form, like y equals mx plus b, it's just x, y. They represent any point on the plane. x1, y1, well, that's also a point on a plane, like x1 comma y1. That's just a point. And hopefully we could say that m, we should all hopefully know at this point that m represents slope. Alright, so x1 comma y1 is a point, and m is the slope. Alright, so here's how we can use this equation to come up with a formula for a specific line. Right? So we said we could define a line by 2 points. Let's say I told you find the equation of a line that goes between the points 4, 7 and 2, 3. Alright? Well, I'm going to go ahead and put in here that 4, 7 is going to be like x, y. And 2, 3 is going to be like x1, y1. x1, y1, and x, y. We know our point-slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. Right? And now it's just a matter of plugging in. We need to figure out slope. Alright, that's our first thing. Our first goal is to figure out what slope is. Alright? So, in this case, alright, we're going to take x, y. Alright, we're going to take x, y and just sort of plug in. And then we're going to take x1, y1 and also plug in. I'm looking at my equation. I see y first. Based on what I did when I wrote out some things up here, I assigned the number 7 to be y. Alright, so I'm going to put 7 in for y. I know that y sub 1 is 3. So I put minus 3. We don't know m, but we do know that x is 4. And we know that x sub 1 is 2. Right? Now it's just a matter of simplifying. 7 minus 3 is 4. This would equal m times 4 minus 2 is 2. We need to figure out slope, so we could divide by 2 to solve for m. And then we get 2 equals m, which I'm actually going to write in yellow, sort of differentiate that. So we have m equals 2. Alright? We're going to take that information. Alright? We know that m equals 2. We know that our point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay. And now I'm just going to plug in. We said already that 4, 7 was like x and y, and that 2, 3 was like x1, y1. I can pick either one of those points to plug in, but I can only pick one, right? I'm only going to pick one of them. For me, generally, I think in this situation, I think it's easier to plug in x1 and y1. Alright? So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to say, we're going to keep y. I'm going to plug in y1. So that was 3. Y minus 3. Well, I know my slope is 2. And I know we're going to leave x, and then x1 was also 2, just from that point. Alright? Now it's a matter, we're going to rearrange and put it in slope-intercept form, because that's what most people tend to like things in. Alright? Y minus 3, I'm going to distribute the 2 to get 2x minus 4. Again, that's just from distributing the 2. And now slope-intercept form just has y by itself. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides. And what I would get is my final equation. Y equals 2x minus 1. That's the equation of that line. Alright. I might also give you a type of problem where I give you the slope, and then I give you a point, right? So we know that our slope is m. We know that this point, let's call it x1, y1, right? And this one's a little bit easier. We remember our formula, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Alright? Y. Don't have anything for that, I'm just going to leave it. y1, I know, is 4. M. Well, that's negative 1 over 2. Don't know x, but I know that x1 is 4. Alright? And again, from here, I can think about, I'm going to rearrange to get slope-intercept form. Okay? Y minus 4, nothing doing for that yet. I'm going to distribute negative 1/2. That becomes negative 1 over 2x. Negative 1/2 times negative 4 is plus 2. So it's a matter of saying, well, I want to get the y by itself to get that equation in slope-intercept form. That gives me y equals negative 1 over 2x. 2 plus 4 is 6. That's the equation in slope-intercept form. Alright? So my recommendation to you is to think through these examples. Alright? There's a link also on my school site for some more examples from Khan Academy. You don't have to watch those, but if you want to see some more at work, you can take a look. He uses more fractions and a little more complicated numbers, so keep that in mind. And if you have questions and stuff, we'll work through this on Monday. Alright? Have a great rest of the weekend.